In this video, I'm going to show you another part of Santa Barbara. I think I mentioned in my last video that I wanted to go out on the Breakwater. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go down to the Santa Barbara Harbor and then head out to the very end of the Breakwater. And then when we come back, I'm going to finish at the Pedego dealership because the owner there is celebrating, or was that day, celebrating his 1-year anniversary of that store. So let's go for a ride. So I'm starting out at the intersection of Haley Street and State Street in Santa Barbara, turning left here onto State Street. This is one of my favorite areas of State Street. This is what they call Lower State Street. I like this area because of the bike path, the quality of the bike path here, and going onto the freeway. I mentioned in my last video that these bridges weren't here. This used to be intersections with traffic lights many years ago when I first came to Santa Barbara. Then coming up on the other side, I showed you this area last time, I think it was last time, when we went out onto Stearns Wharf, going over the railroad tracks here. Now at the end of State Street, I'm going to turn right onto the bike path. This is the bike path that runs along the west side of Santa Barbara, along the beach. Cutting ahead here, we're going to be coming back to this area. Over there to the left is the Santa Barbara Harbor. It's a rather big harbor, a lot of boats out there, and a few people actually live on their boats out there. That's their permanent home. Again, good dedicated bike paths here. Now I've cut ahead because I've had to work my way through some parking lots, but this is one of my favorite parts of this ride for a very different reason. This is a hill. It's not much of a hill. We're going up onto the mesa. To the right you can see the cliffs, or at least the hillside, with the homes up top. It's not a steep hill. It's not a long hill, but it's a hill. And one of the advantages to having an e-bike like a Pedego is that the motor kicks in when it detects that you're starting to struggle a little bit, and it eases you up the hill. I'm still pedaling, but the motor is assisting me to get me up the hill. And that's what I like about this bike, because I can go for a ride and not come home with my knees aching or my back hurting. And then over here is my destination. This is Shoreline Park. And I'm going to stop over here to show you the view somewhat. So there's the beach, and there are the surfers. There isn't much surf out there, but they're dedicated. They're out there hoping to catch some waves. It's a pretty area, and especially when the sun is shining. And when there's big surf, there's a lot of surfers out there because this is somewhat of a point break. So it's a good area to catch waves. Now I'm going back down to the Santa Barbara Harbor. To the left is the seafood market where I like to shop once in a while. It's expensive, but you get really fresh seafood because it comes off the boats right here in the harbor. And then this is the harbor, and there are the fishing boats. This is where the seafood comes from. So it's really fresh seafood. And again, it's a pretty large harbor, protected by the Breakwater, which we are going to be going out onto next. And that's the Breakwater. It goes out for quite a distance. You can't ride your bike out there, but you can walk. And when the surf is really strong, they actually close this Breakwater down. They don't allow people out here. Now I'm out at the very end of that Breakwater after I've walked my bike all the way out there. This is a monument to those who have perished at sea. A nice touch. The Breakwater continues to the side over there, but I want to show you the harbor. There's a good look of the harbor and the Breakwater that I walked out along. And then over here to the right, coming up, you can actually walk out further, but there's no dedicated sidewalk there. So it's kind of risky, and I would not bring my bike out there. But down toward the end, there's a beach area. And some people do stroll out there and stroll on that beach down there. And that out there on the distance, that's the wharf where we did last time. I showed you the wharf last time, and that's the very end of the breakwater there. The waves here are not strong, as I mentioned, but they're there. And as I mentioned earlier, when the surf is really high, they do close this breakwater down. They don't allow pedestrians out here. But today it's a calm ocean, a fairly calm ocean. The waves are coming in, but they're not breaking very high. Every once in a while they'll splatter over the top of this wall onto the sidewalk, but it's just a small bit of splatter. Coming back, I noticed these kayaks. I think we saw kayaks last time when we went out onto Stearns Wharf. So there's quite a group of kayaks heading out here. This is the Santa Barbara Nautical Museum. I haven't been in there. I believe it's free, but they ask for donations. And then over here, this anchor has a story. A friend of mine, his grandfather, found this anchor at sea. It was too big to bring ashore for salvage, so he left it at sea. It was eventually discovered and brought ashore here as part of the park. Nice touch. Okay, we're back on Haley Street. This is the good part of Haley Street, where there's good bike path, but this is what you have to watch for. Look at this guy. Walks right out in front. This is jaywalking, by the way, what these people are doing. They will ticket you in Santa Barbara for jaywalking. You're supposed to cross at the corners where the crosswalks are and the lights. But otherwise, this is a nice area. I like the bike path. Coming up as I get to the other side of this intersection is the Pedego store. I have to wait for this light to turn green. There we are. And this is where I bought my bike. This is the Pedego electric bike store. Let's go inside. They're having their celebration, their 1-year anniversary inside. Some food set up, drinks. There's Pat. He's waving. He's a nice guy. I like Pat. So there it is. Another ride down in Santa Barbara and a little party at the Pedego dealership. Pat's a super nice guy. I wish him another year of success and many more after that. There's another video that I want to do that I'm probably going to do next. I'd like to go to the Santa Barbara courthouse, because if the mural room is open, I'd like you to see that. And then if the tower is open, you can climb up into the tower and get a nice view of the city of Santa Barbara. And I think for that ride, I would finish at Alice Keck Park, where there is a turtle pond with dozens, if not hundreds, of turtles in it. It's a really neat little park. So thanks for watching my video. If you like what you're seeing, please click the like button, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and thanks for watching.